So the Bulls did their Ring of Honor ceremony. Golden State comes into town. They celebrate the 90s teams that have won championships. Just a Ring of Honor celebration, which is good that they did that because Steve Kerr was on that team. They didn't have to double back and make 50,000 trips. So it's good, right? That the Bulls did their Ring of Honor. They celebrated everybody in this Ring of Honor ceremony. You know, MJ got his congratulations, even though he didn't show up. I know that was a lot of people's questions. Scotty didn't show up as well. They still got
that's
some
like the two main, you know?
Yeah.
Like literally, when you think Bulls legacy, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. Okay.
Yeah.
In that order.
In that order. But possibly, you know, and Phil was there too. So he showed up. I don't think Dennis was there. Dennis wasn't there. So, you know, it is what it is.
Damn, who showed up? Horace Green
showed up. Derrick Rose.
Literally, I think it was everybody but that big three, and then the fourth person, which we're about to get into, but he physically can't show up. There's a reason why he can't show up. So in the Ring of Honor ceremony, you know, they announce people and stuff like that. And that fourth member that I talked about, and we could talk about order of importance to the Bulls dynasty, is Jerry Krause, former Bulls GM, you know, organized a lot of the transactions that got this team together. Jerry Krause couldn't be there. So instead, his wife was there. His still living wife was there. And this is the reaction that fans gave.
Oh no.
Now, I know that this video doesn't do it too much justice, but even the guy that seems to be recording it is booing. And as you can see on her face, it's pretty visible. A lot of the crowd was booing. We watched it live. Well, I did playback that night. We watched it live. It was more boos than anything. It was a lot of boos. And by a lot of boos, I mean pretty much exclusively booed.
Everybody was booing. It sounded like the whole stadium booed.
Not even trying to be funny. It really, here it is. It sounded like exclusive boos for the most part, from what I remember.
6-time NBA champion, 2-time NBA Executive of the Year, represented by his wife Thelma, Basketball Hall of Famer and former Bulls general manager Jerry Krause.
Yeah,
cheers.
That's
cheers at the end.
That's a 50-50 if anything. That's tough.
They start cheering once they seen the old white lady crying. I think that.
I ain't gonna lie. That's what I think it was.
She ain't do nothing now. Come on, y'all. Whoa, type shit.
And so I found out there's some discrepancy. Now I want to go down some of the people's reactions first, and then we'll kind of deep dive into it. Naturally, they asked Steve Kerr after the game. Honestly, the results of the game didn't even matter. I think that the Bulls may have won. They might have beat the Warriors, but that didn't really matter. This is the big thing from this game.
It's shame thinking. I cannot believe that the fans, and you have to understand, when you hear boos, it's not all of them, right? So the fans who booed, they know who they are, and that's to me is absolutely shameful, and I'm devastated by that, because it's just what are we doing? You know, whether people liked Jerry or not, whether they disagreed with the decision to move on from whatever I mean, like, we're here to celebrate that team. Jerry did an amazing job building that team. Tonight and last night was all about the joy and the love that team shared with the city. And I'm so disappointed in the fans. And I want to be specific because there were lots of fans, I'm sure, who did not boo. But those who booed, they should be ashamed.
Oh, okay, my bad. That has the Stacey King thing in it as well. Let me continue to play that. We continue on the same video. Greg Popovich. They asked Greg Popovich. They always find Greg Popovich, don't they? Ain't that crazy?
Well, I know he don't like boos, so.
I feel the same way about that as I did when Kawhi Leonard got booed here. It's unnecessary, it's impolite, it's ignorant. It doesn't do anything, but if anything, it's like a snapshot of the world we live in today, where meanness seems to be a little bit more or a lot more condoned. I guess I'm naive, but I said before, I never knew that there were that many people ready and willing to act that way in our country. And even more people doing things violently like it's acceptable. I think that's just a byproduct of it. It's the mood that we're in. I'm not going to go into politics of who and why and all that kind of stuff, but we see it all around us. He ends it with Krause did a wonderful job. They asked DeMar DeRozan. He says it sucks their family had to endure something like that. You never take away what he created. Without Jerry, there wouldn't be a historic Bulls history. And then I'll play Gilbert's in a minute. But I mean, start with Damo. How do you feel about, that?
Oh yeah, I know you didn't catch it. I pulled up to that playback as well for a little bit.
Yeah, you were there with me, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
that happened,
yeah. I muted my mic and I booed too. What are we talking about? I'm not.
Oh wow.
What are we talking about? I booed too. Yeah, I booed. Yeah, I booed them. Why? The Last Dance told me to. That's why. And I ain't even seen The Last Dance, but I know it told me to boo him. I know he was the villain. I have Twitter. I see what goes on the timeline. Why would I care? Man, this is sports. This shit is serious to us. All right? It doesn't. Your hate doesn't die with the person. That was my whole thing with Kobe. Everybody thought the hate just died with him. No. Continue to hate. If you was a hater when he was here, keep hating. If you would have booed him if he was on screen, boo his wife. I said this on playback. Hey, these women are obligated to have the money during alimony and obligated to get some of this money whenever they divorce. That means they all together, you obligated and responsible for some of this blame. Because you're not one of them shooting in the gym. So what you is going to do is take this hate. Ma'am, sorry, not sorry. That's how I feel about it. Nah, all jokes aside, I'm not joking. That's the sad part.
I'm about to
MLK
say,
Day. If you think I'm about to defend a white woman on MLK Day, more niggas should have booed. More niggas should have booed, in my opinion. The people that cheered are in the wrong, in my opinion. Fuck them people.
He did pull the race card. I might have to be on his side.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, say
conundrum.
A palindrome.
I'm about to say, hey, I actually I was ready to say he's drunk, but I don't know what to do now. Now I'm cooked. Look, maybe I am just an omni casual. I don't know why the hell he got booed like that, or I don't know what the fuck he did, but whatever it was, I ain't gonna lie. Look, man, maybe they seen that and it was like, oh shit, this poor white lady started crying and then maybe took it back. But I mean, if they were booing her specifically as a, hey man, he's not here, you the next thing, that's nasty. That's nasty work. But for the fans that were just booing frame one at him, I mean, I don't know what he did, but fans do have the right, I guess. But I just don't know why. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did something weird. Maybe.
I got the clip here. This should be a decent summary, but I'm pretty versed on.
Broke up the Bulls. He got him 6 rings.
Jerry Krause came wanting to get in at the end of the game, and Stan wouldn't let him in. He was, it wasn't a good situation.
The mistrust Michael had with management, specifically with Jerry Krause, was he believed that they violated the most fundamental aspect of sport, I would argue, the most fundamental aspect of the way Michael conducted his life. You do it at the highest level, and you do it to win all the time. From that moment on, Michael's relationship with the ownership and management was deeply soured. That never went away.
And Jerry.
So as the story goes, as the fabled story goes, and the old heads will check me in the comments if I'm wrong. It kind of starts off with, are we building to win? Or what are we building to do, et cetera, et cetera. And then fast forward, and this is the abridged version, so you can fill in the blanks later on. They start to win, but then there starts to be this conflict between who is more pivotal to
Jackson,
winning.
Krause, or Jordan.
And as MJ and them would tell it, is that Jerry really thought he was like a player, really thought he was doing it, really thought that he was making these moves and really shaking these moves. And then towards the end of the era, and this is where it really just like blows up. Jerry and Phil get into it. Phil Jackson get into it to the point where Jerry Krause basically has Phil Jackson's replacement in and out of the Bulls locker rooms and in and out of the Bulls organization, the arena and all that on like a daily basis. I think Jerry has it's not a wedding. Something happens. I think Jerry has a wedding or something. Something happens, an event, and he invites this new coach who's like a coach at Nebraska. It's the coach that comes in right after Phil Jackson retires. But he doesn't invite Phil Jackson. He does not invite Phil Jackson. He invites everybody else. He does not invite Phil Jackson. Tim Floyd. Tim Floyd is his name. And so there's this impasse where, I'm not bringing Phil back. This is what Jerry's kind of telling Michael. I'm not bringing Phil back. I'm not bringing Scotty back. I'm not bringing Dennis back. We're gonna kind of revamp. We might be asked for a year or two, but we'll be right back in it. And Michael is like, "What?
Yeah.
Nah, nah. And if you do all this, then I'm out of here." And the relationship with Phil is kind of already scoring, so it's like it soured. So it's like it's over with. And that's why they claim they go into the last season knowing that, hey, this is the last dance. It's already kind of known. Michael wasn't necessarily old that first go round, and Michael was still playing very, very well. Michael was like, come on now. Michael was 34, but he was 29 point per game guy. Like he could have definitely kept going, but the idea was that the relationships have become so sour that he decided to leave. Now, victory is always told from the winners, and Jerry Krause is dead. He had some time to tell a story, but you will as it's being told today, and it's easy to kick like a dead horse, like figuratively and literally. Can't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be like today if Kareem came out and started talking crazy about Dr. Buss. Can't nobody really fact check. Who gonna fact check that?
That's tough.
You spitting?
That's tough. So given that context, and I ain't gonna lie, I mean, I know people lie whenever they do this, but the second someone in chat said the Phil win-lose thing, I do remember that. Everything else I didn't know. But I mean, yeah, if they're gonna boo him, I guess they can boo him. But it's like, really? Because at that point, you only like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Like, if I'm sorry, maybe that's a nasty man's argument. But if I'm a Bulls fan, I ain't gonna lie. Like, yeah, he ruined what, maybe 8, 9-ish, I guess. How long do you think they would still be dominating the league? Question mark, I guess. We'll never know. But he got y'all 6. I'm just saying, I'm not hating the dude enough to when he passed, I'm booing him. Me personally, I wouldn't boo him, but they have the right to feel that way. Maybe I had to be in the moment. Maybe they were older fans. Maybe I had to like been a Bulls fan. Hell, I don't know. But I just, based on everything, I think it's like weak sauce. But like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. It's not the same thing as Kawhi, because Kawhi's different. One, Kawhi was on the court. 2, he was shooting free throws. But it's just overall. Yeah, I guess.
And let me piggyback for the youth and to help Sage with the memory. This isn't anything new at all. This is a 95. What the fuck? This is a 1995 article from a newspaper.
Not liked in Chicago. I just
not liked in Chicago. This is the ring ceremony from 97.
To congratulate the 1997 NBA champion Chicago Bulls, a team for our time, the basketball team of our time, and one for the ages.
The architect of the 1996-97 Bulls championship team and two-time executive of the year, Jerry Krause.
So niggas was booing in 95. That lion ass Stacey King.
Yeah, now, no, and I think he meant more of the deaths. But I will say there are other accounts as to what happened, and those people might be haters of Michael. There's some other questions I want to ask, but I want to get all of this out before we really, really deep dive, because there's a conversation to be had about what's more important, the player or the organization. But this is Sam Smith, I believe is his name. Yeah, Sam Smith, who gives his account as to what happened back then.
And tells him, look, I'm done with this. Scotty's, he's gone. Dennis is gone. All these guys, and Jerry says, it's a lockout. It might last a while. You know what? Just wait. Maybe Phil change his mind. Who knows what's going on? There's no hurry. No, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to be around these guys anymore. I had to carry it down the stretch. Pippen couldn't play in the game 6. His back was hurt. He's limping around. Dennis was crazy. And Michael wanted to stay. There was enough team there to stay with, even without Pippen or Rodman. First of all, Rodman would come back for 1 year, no question. I wouldn't have wanted him back, but he would have certainly. And you had Ron Harper, you had Tony Kukoc, you had Randy Brown, they had free agents. Brent Barry, people forget, Brent Barry signed with them that year. They got one of the top shooters in the league to come. So Michael wanted to stay and play with a top team, or a contending team. That was still there. It was a possibility if he wanted to come back. They offered him the $38 million, whatever it was, for 1 year. And the whole coaching staff was still there. So this notion of I can't play without Phil, well, he went and played with Doug Collins 2 years later. So back then, he cut it off. And the only one who ended those dynasties in 93, remember, in 93, he's the guy who quit on them. He left. And everyone was fine. They understood. No one was blaming him. But then to come back in 98, and I know do what he did and basically walk away completely when he didn't have to, and then to pretend that he was the one who wanted to play and they forced him out. Whoever forces Michael Jordan out to do anything?
Brings up a valid point. Whoever forces Michael Jordan out to do anything. Again, I can already smell the old heads getting in there, but like he said, they had a good roster. The coaching thing, Jerry and Phil really had the bad relationship. Fuck Jerry and Michael. From my understanding, Jerry and Phil really had the bad relationship. But he had everybody. And then to also think who wouldn't want to come and play with Michael Jordan is another concept. But if we remember what happened the next season, because it was a little lockout, then they had the 98-99 season, the fucking Knicks won. And that Knicks team was sorry. That Knicks team was sorry. That Knicks team was sorry as fuck.
Actually, but Big Boy won't.
We don't know. But that's that Knicks team with Latrell Sprewell, Larry Johnson. Yeah, that Knicks team was sorry.
Yeah,
that's what Tim
you better watch your mouth, sonny.
Nah. And the Pacers made teams that they were beating pretty handily, make the playoffs. But I mean, so go ahead, Damo, because
it astonishes me to hear this stuff about Mike, because when you hear stuff about LeBron, all these old niggas that was alive during this time and lived this will call him all types of soft. What is he doing to my game? Shut up and dribble. Just play basketball. Why are we doing the extracurriculars? Why are we worried about so many other things? Play what was given to you. Mike did. No, he didn't. He quit twice. That nigga retired twice and came back. Just goes to show, man.
Twice. He came back twice.
Exactly. Retired twice. Came back twice. Listen, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to push no agenda. I'm not pushing no agendas. I'm just saying it is ironic, at the very least to me, the smoke all you old, scratchy, gray beard geezers get. It's crazy how I get about LeBron and how everyone looks up to him and the state of the game. But if we go back and look in history, them guys were doing equally as much behind the scenes, equally complained. I watched him the time. Magic ain't want to get on the bus. I seen it. He sat there in the tunnel. He didn't want to get on the bus. He had to be convinced to get on the bus. If you would have heard LeBron was not getting back on the bus, how many videos would have came out about how soft LeBron is? But y'all don't want to talk about Magic and Mike like that. I get it. It's selective memory.